Feminism is the world's greatest evil. In this video, I'll explain why. And I got some bullet points to back up what I'm saying. So the first point I have is well, this is just a bit of an explanation of how feminism came about, why people wanted it, stuff like this. Postmodern feminism has hyper-focused on careerism for females. This has destroyed the family unit, which has destroyed people's happiness and made society at large weak. It's a fact. Feminism has not been advantageous to anyone except women in the government, because it's advantageous to the government because they have more people in the workforce. They can extract more of our tax dollars. You know, like it's a lot of people, it's a lot of workers, it's a lot of people to pay taxes now. I think that's pretty easy to understand. But it's also been detrimental to women as well. Women being in the workforce has, of course, made them more financially empowered. However, it's hurt women by decreasing the amount of time they can spend with family, which is paramount to female happiness, because producing healthy, strong families is a woman's purpose. That is a fact. A lot of women don't know what their purpose is. They think their purpose is being like an Instagram star, or being with a wealthy man, or like being some sort of singer or figure that just gets all this attention. None of that is your purpose. Being with a wealthy man is great. That might contribute to the purpose in having a strong, healthy family. But especially in this society where the government is actively trying to kill us, people need to start investing in organic foods. So this is the second bullet point. The goal of the first wave feminists was to gain opportunities for women, such as equal wages, opportunities for higher education, a wider range of career options, property rights, etc. We gave them jobs. Now they work jobs and complain. Then have the nerve to look down on men and say, I want a provider. It's crazy, right? Gold diggers. Well, if women weren't in the workforce, it'd be easier for men to provide. That's a fact. If we got all these hoes out of the workforce, then men could provide very easily. Because the woman would need the man, and the love may not be as pure, but at least the women would be disincentivized from breaking up a marriage or relationship, especially a relationship that has children and, you know, a bunch of time invested into it and things like this. So we really got to get these women out of the workforce just to set the society back in order. It's very unnatural to have a broad telling you what to do. You go to work and you got a woman manager. Like, come on now. It's crazy. They wanted diverse career choices, then go into the easiest fields like data entry work, receptionist, human resources, etc. That's a fact. They do the easiest jobs. Men do the hardest jobs on the planet Earth. Men do jobs like there's this one video on Instagram where this guy is climbing up this pole that's like 30,000 feet tall. A woman is gonna climb all the way up there to change a light bulb or to do whatever he's doing. You know, like how many women do you see in jobs like engineering or aerospace engineering, or the real laborious stuff like construction? Like how many women do you see in these types of fields? Zero. They wanted their own property, rights, and then invite endless men over because no one's watching. Yeah, so when you give women power, they start behaving immorally. Because you're not supposed to give weaklings power. You give a weak psychopath who's never had power before, and this is for men and women. They start abusing it. They don't really know how to wield it. Not good people. And imagine putting a woman as the head of any like household or corporation or anything like that. Like, come on now. It's not a good idea. This is my third point. This wave officially began when a group of women met in Seneca Falls, New York for the first women's rights convention in 1848. This wave of feminism ended in 1920 after the ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920. So this was the beginning of the end. This was the start of why America is so weak now. You know, you got so many cowards and men who just aren't brave and masculine. You got so many women who are masculine and dysfunctional and broken and dislikable. This was the start of that. Ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920, which legalized women's right to vote. So that's when they had the ability to vote. As a result of this period of feminism, there was an increase in women's rights, such as property and inheritance rights, as well as better career opportunities. So this is when they really started getting power. 1920s, after that first wave of feminism. This is my next point. The second wave was categorized by larger feminist protests, in contrast to the more docile conventions that were held by feminists during the first wave. These feminists believed that women were kept in a domestic prison and only relegated to many menial jobs that lacked prestige if they were allowed out of the home. The women who wanted to go out and work like men were broken women who wanted to be men. That's a fact. And okay, I think I'll hold off on my elaboration. Perhaps a few men of this 1960s era were psychopaths who made the women feel like the home was a prison, but generally this was not the case, especially since chivalry and pedestalizing women were huge during this era. And I'll go as far as to say that throughout the entirety of human history, women have been pedestalized, men have been engaged in chivalry, things like this. And I think it's just due to supply and demand, like it's very hard for a normal man to get in a relationship with a woman. So when he finally does, he's not going to mess it up. He's not going to just throw away a decent opportunity, because men want to consistently beat the women's vaginas down. So a lot of guys are simps, and I think that has been the case historically. So when women say, "Oh well, men in the 1960s used to beat our sis," maybe, but it certainly wasn't the average man who was doing that. That was not normal. You know what I'm saying? Moreover, if a woman was getting her ass kicked, it's probably because she did something that was extraordinarily distasteful and disrespectful. Because men are reasonable and we tend to be moral. So me as a man, I'm not going to just whoop my woman's butt, especially knowing that, this can go really bad, really fast. I could kill this bit. I hit a girl as hard as I can. Man, she may never wake up again. You dig? And they gonna start calling me the can man. Okay. Women began discarding items such as girdles, bras, high heels, and makeup. Things that feminists thought were demeaning tools created by the patriarchy to make them into sex toys. And it's ironic because in the 1960s, after the second wave of feminism, they didn't want to make themselves seem like they were sex objects. But then when you give them the power to do what they want, they turn themselves into sex objects. Why did they do this? I think it's because most women are broken. Most women have some sort of mental issue wherein they feel like they just need all this attention from males. Stuff like that. They didn't give enough love from their father, and they feel like a tremendous void within them. So, yeah. And also, I was reading something else and it said that some women do it not just for attention. Most women are doing it for attention and because they want men to stare at them. But a small percentage of women will do it because they're trying to make a statement against the patriarchy. These are like the real psychotic, like active feminists. But most women are not that. Let me get this water in real quick. This is the next point. Feminism nowadays is about female superiority, not equality. Yeah. Like if a woman can run for the presidency and almost win, that's about superiority. Yeah, that's about having women on top. This superior position women are in is evident, is evident by their behavior. When a feminist woman and her boyfriend are out in public, who's walking in front? The woman is often walking in front, which is a clear sign that she subconsciously thinks that she should be leading you, which she should not. So if your broad is leading you and like trying to dictate and, you know, trying to really run the program in a subtle, like covert way, you need to go ahead and get you a new broad. And it's unfortunate what men have to deal with, but and I say it's unfortunate what men have to deal with because most women are just not good people. They don't want to be ran by a man. They don't want to follow a man's program. They want to do what they want to do. They want to be feminist. They want to be unmanageable and dislikable. So it's actually kind of sad what men have to deal with, and like the pool of, you know, degenerate women we have to pick from is not looking too bright. But this is our fault as men. We have not controlled the society. We've allowed feminism to rule over us. Really, it's the white guy's fault. I'm just giving it a being, but, you know, we'll collectively take accountability. When Alexander the Great led his troops into a theater of war, he was in the front, and everyone else followed behind him because he's the leader. These broken women think they're warlords. Yeah, these bras think they are, women can do whatever men can do. Yeah. Go. Let me see you go out there on the front line. These broken women think they're warlords. If you ask a feminist who's the leader in a relationship, they'll start milli rocking and dancing, saying things that don't make sense. A feminist will say something like, I think both people in a relationship are the leaders. Yeah, like that doesn't make sense, but okay. And what girls are trying to do is let the man know that she's ruling things without making him feel too bad about being in a weaker position. Like, personally, I recommend dudes not deal with women like this. I'm not gonna say deal with them, but just smash them. Like, smash them, sell them a dream. You can treat them decently, but ultimately, these are women who don't get impregnated. These are women who don't get the ability to procreate. These are women who don't get the man girl position. These are women who are trash. So, like, broads who want to run your program and be above the man for whatever reason, yeah, just smash them. Smash them and probably dash them, but if you want to keep smashing, if that thing was good and you want to keep smashing, just make sure she is not the one of many. On to my next point. Women nowadays aren't taught to be soft, feminine, docile, and loving. They're taught to be mean, cruel, independent, and selfish. They'll hyper-focus on a career and making money and then wonder why when they're older, no man wants them. It's because you've psychotically focused on being an earner, which is the man's job, broken your personality because of it, and then grew a large ego because you have a bit of capital. It's crazy. You're also a particularly distasteful character, thus you've seen your mother talk to your father in a disrespectful way. You've seen her treat him as though he's a worthless human. You've essentially seen your father be dominated by a woman. And this like evil within females, or this evil that's being expressed by females, I think is for sure feminism. It's for sure feminism. They don't just wake up and want to be evil and mean to men. Like, this stuff is pushed in the media, you know, do your own thing. Men aren't anything. Men aren't worth anything. He's just going to cheat on you anyway. Like, they're being taught and bred to hate men. It's unfortunate. And just smash these bros. Just smash them. Okay. You've essentially seen your father be dominated by a woman. All due to feminism raising her up to be a broken, maladjusted, man-hating person. Absolutely. Characters like this are barely even human. They really are, you know. And really, if a woman just hates a man, something happened to her. Like, she probably got touched. She probably got beat. Like, something extraordinary happened to her. you know, because if we're being realistic, most men in the society are treating women way too well. If we're keeping it a bean, these guys are treating these women way too well. They're getting free rides, free food, free dates, free experiences. Dudes will fly girls out to a foreign country and pay for the flight ticket, pay for the meals, pay for the trip to Zanzibar, pay for everything, pay for her to ride camels in the desert in Dubai or wherever that stuff is. And then like not even getting nothing in return, like not even getting up cat. Like that's crazy. So if women are being treated that well in society and you still manage to hate men, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Like something is wrong with some men and most men really, but most men are treating women very well. They're treating y'all with the level of respect that y'all frankly just do not deserve. Okay. Characters like this are barely even human. The woman growing up thinking behavior like this is acceptable from both the mother and the father is a death note to her future relationships and the society. Yeah, like the man is at fault as well, like for even getting into a relationship with a woman like this and then staying. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she talked to you crazy in front of the kid. She's dominated you. She's told you to go clean the dishes. She's making you cook. She's being unpleasant and disrespectful toward you. And you just stayed and dealt with that? Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't even think I could smash a bra like that, bruh. Not in a sexual way. Okay, on to my next point. Feminism has diminished females' innate inclination to be family-oriented and to more importantly, create their own. They've become utterly selfish. That's true. In them trying to behave like men, they've become more successful, but they're unhappier. So yeah, like women are more skilled and more competent now, more educated, but these are not the things that are going to make you happy as a woman. As I stated before, a family is what's going to make you happy as a woman, not, trying to live like a man and being unnatural. Because honestly, when you're a person, any animal that is acting against its nature is an animal that's been traumatized. Like if you see a dog that quacks or like a shark that smells blood and doesn't attack, something's wrong with those animals. Which is to say that a woman who is behaving like a man, something's wrong with her. And I think in a lot of cases, it's not like true trauma. I think people probably making things seem more traumatic than what they are, or catastrophizing things in their head. But I think it's just feminism. It's just girls being taught the wrong way. They're being raised up on malknowledge. And I'll get into the happiness thing a bit later. A significant pillar of feminism is independence. They believe they shouldn't be able to depend on a man for anything, whether it be financial, spiritual, mental, or emotional. Feminists believe they don't need men. This isn't true thus. Women certainly need men, for without men, they'll be unhappy and dangerous. Absolutely. The comfort a woman can experience with her man is something she cannot get independently. The safety isn't something she can get independently. Okay. So my phone cut again. I need to really make sure I got storage on my phone, thus this stuff will keep happening. But I was on the part where I was talking about how how independence is a lie. Nobody is an island. It's certainly not a woman. So, and as much as that's the case, we all need each other for various different things, for happiness, for comfort, for emotional support, for games and activities. Like we all need each other at a level. So when feminists in particular say, oh, I don't need a man, oh, the evil patriarchy, oh, we can do it by ourselves. You are lying. No, you cannot. You lied. On to my next point. Okay. Feminism has made women hate weakness. Women are weak. It's true, I said it in a video that I was shooting, and actually people can see. Well, I wasn't on the camera when I said it, and I don't think the mic could hear me. But I was making a YouTube video with my cameraman, and it was my cameraman's turn to get in there and question the girls, and they were saying some. So, oh, so do you believe that women are weak? Women aren't weak. Women are strong. I was like, no. I was behind the camera, holding the camera, like, no, women are weak. Bruh, they left. They literally walked off. And these are feminist bras. Who cares? Women are weak. The evidence of feminism making women hate weakness is found through their language. They'll say something like, I'm strong and independent, which isn't true because we're all dependent on others for various different things. They'll also say something like, I don't need no man, which is yet another falsehood. You can have some females genuinely squaring up with men as though they're some sort of equal. Like as though they can really like get it in with a man and really shake his hand, you dig? And really conquer some land. Like, nah, y'all don't do that. No, y'all don't. And gentlemen, if any woman is psychotic enough to square up with you, and I mean, she want to be in a man's world. She wants to operate like a man. Treat her like one. She's a very dysfunctional, broken person anyway. Any woman who's like really seriously trying to fight a man, come on now. That's not healthy woman stuff. That's not normal. That's not even like slightly broken average woman stuff. That's craziness. That bitch up. You even have some women genuinely squaring up with men as though they're some equals, fighting against her innate weakness, which is to say fighting against the truth, because women are weak. Invariably, things go wrong when we're at war with the truth. It's also detrimental to self-esteem and confidence. This is a fact. I talked about this before. Women of recent generations have been lied to. To hate weakness as a woman, which is what you are, is to hate yourself. Feminists who drove the movements of the past hated truth, hated men, and hated themselves. On to my next point. Feminism has created a lot of broken personalities within women. For example, the workplace is a stressful place. Women and stress don't mix too well. When women become too stressed from work, it can cause them to go through menopause prematurely, which causes women to become more irritable, anxious, and oppressed. These are unpleasant characteristics in a person. You know, who wants to deal with a woman who's extraordinarily like anxious and scared all the time? Like that's annoying. Like I don't want to deal with that. Who wants to deal with a woman who's always depressed and sad? And who wants to deal with a woman who's irritable, who's like snapping? You know, like come on now. It destroys your personality. Like being stressed out too much consistently. That's what work does to you. Consistently. It also causes their vagina to be dry, making sex painful and unpleasant. Another thing consistent high levels of stress due to women is destroy the predictability of their menstrual cycle. In some cases, even making the periods physically painful. No one wants to be around someone who's unhappy and in pain. Because women are complainers, especially. They'll complain. Yeah, people didn't think I was going to go that long. But they'll just complain and just make your existence just so burdensome. Oh my goodness, they will complain. Woo! I want to be around that. Women want to be respected at the same level as men, but they actually don't deserve that level of respect. Let me cook, nigga. I got this. A man is expected to die for his woman if it comes down to it. A woman is not expected to die for her man. The level of seriousness and responsibility attached to our roles is drastically different. Dying and washing dishes are not comparable where respect is concerned. Only broken women who want to be men and women who want things they don't deserve want the same level of respect as a man. The world greatly respects men. Thus, we take people's lives if they didn't show us a certain level of respect. Tell my white supremacist, my colonial-minded friends, that one was for you. Men are willing to go to the edges of extremes to snatch respect from others. Women simply aren't. Most often when men kill each other, it's about what? It's about respect. When women kill each other, it's about petty romance stuff. So they and that's the end of that point. But yeah, they don't deserve the level of respect a man deserves. Come on now. The world is cold to a man. Not to a woman, but to a man. Whew, it's cold. Some women grow up and genuinely think the world is a nice place. You know they're white and a woman. And that's good. That's good they believe that the world is a nice place, but thinking that in the wrong scenario can get you hurt. You're running into Ted Bundy and he gonna do something devilish to you in the church. So the comparison lie. This is my next point. Women will errantly say, I can do everything a man can do. This is clearly a lie. Come on now. Thus, they can't release semen how I can. They can't deal with adversity like I can. Their behaviors can't be as consistent over time as mine can. Men can't listen as well as women can. We can't interpret faces how they can. And we can't breastfeed. I think that's pretty funny. Hopefully I made somebody in the crowd laugh with that. The lie that women can do what men can is dangerous, poisonous, and duplicitous. And it really comes from a place of inadequacy, since unhealthy females believe that they're in competition with males and they think they're in competition with us because they think they are men. Chill out. You're not a man. As if women could compete with men at what they're good at. Yeah, y'all cannot compete with us at what we're good at. Y'all would not dominate in terms of like using your brains for mathematical equations. Y'all can't dominate us in that. Y'all can't dominate us in warfare. Y'all can't dominate us in thinking and being a man. Come on now. I can't dominate us in being strong and dealing with adversity. Oh yeah. Yeah, the adversity thing. When a man deals with significant amount of adversity and he has good knowledge, he can overcome that and become a better person, become a better human that'll serve the society, the entire society at large. When a woman deals with too much adversity, it's gonna make her collapse. It's gonna make her sit down. And honestly, she's gonna end up turning into a drug user, a woman of the night who makes her living by taking pipe. She's gonna become like a person in an insane asylum. Like, she's gonna hate all men. Like, women and adversity it's not a good combination. They do not mix well. Okay, on to my next point. Women say men don't respect women, but women don't respect women. Feminism spat on the natural proclivity women have to nurture and take care of something, while polishing the mundane, boring thing men go off to do, which is work. Before feminism, women had all the time in the world to be well-adjusted. They could hyper-focus on their man, their kids, and their friendships since they had a jobless schedule. Yeah. Relationships are the most important thing in human happiness. Wonderful relationships will make you happier than having $1 million in your bank account. Wonderful relationships will also make you happier than being uber famous like Michael Jackson. That's a fact. In the modern era, most of a woman's time is stolen by feminism in her job. And since women are so easily programmed and psychologically psychotic in this era, they believe that working a job like a man is going to satisfy them, which it won't. I mean, maybe at a level it will, but it's not going to satisfy you at the greatest of levels. What will satisfy you at the greatest of levels is having good relationships and having a family, more importantly. Like having a good family that's loving, having a successful husband, who takes care of you, things like this. Come on now. Like, are you seriously telling me you want to work for 8 hours and then go deal with some little kids after? Come on now. And have to deal with a husband? Come on. You're a liar. You don't want to do all that. So, like, in my pursuit to get you guys out of the workforce, y'all should be on my side. The women, y'all, they definitely should be on my side. Because I'm working in their interest and in a man's interest. I'm not just for men. And men have never just been for men. When feminists lie. And another thing with women being in a workforce is when a kid is not raised up properly and he doesn't have enough love and attention, and that's how kids interpret love as attention, like the mom paying attention to, or the parents or people paying attention to them a lot. That's how they feel loved. Look at me, look at me. You know, and you look at them and that makes them feel good about themselves. When kids are missing that, they grow up with personality issues, personality disorders, low self-esteem, stuff like this, and stuff like this will cause them to be like maladjusted, dangerous people in the society. And also I mentioned women become dangerous. The woman becoming dangerous when she sees how her man or her father and her mother in that toxic matriarchal type of relationship happens. She becomes dangerous because she thinks that that's okay. Like she thinks that men are supposed to behave in a weak, like effeminate way, and she thinks that women are supposed to be strong and not even strong, just fake strong. They're really putting on a facade. The world is confusing. Like people are not gonna openly just tell you like, hey, I'm an unhappy person. And the people who are honest, shout out to the honest people. It's one of my values, honesty, particularly with people who are honorable people. Most people are not honest people. Like I was dealing with a white supremacist the other day, and I was telling them like, hey, like, I was telling them like, hey, send me a picture of what you look like. People can imagine why. He's like, why? I don't like you. Well, why don't you like me? Because you're a white supremacist and you think mass murder is okay. We had an entire conversation, and this guy was like, "No, I'm not a white supremacist. No, I don't hate black people just because they're black. It's something else." And then in the end, what did he do? Start calling me the N-word. Start saying, "Hey, I'm better than you because I'm black, because I'm white and you're black. So hey, you're dumb because you're black." And the truth finally came out, but it took like 3 hours, 3, 4, 5 hours of me talking to this guy for him to finally come out and be real. Like, you're it, girl. You're it, girl. Q. Like, just keep it a being. Like, I kept it a being with you. Like, you're not a man. I kept it a being with you and told you, like, hey, I don't like you. Oh, well, but I like blacks. No, you don't. And this is a problem. Like, the world, the West is weak. What was my point? I was saying that people aren't honest about who they are. And that was the point. Okay. In the modern era, most of a woman's time is stolen by feminism. Okay, I read that. Okay. The culture is conditioning women to be more masculine. Work, job, own your own things, have a house, be the leader, be self-focused, be promiscuous, hate men, hate masculine men, to love weak men, and conditioning men to be more feminine. Take back a cheater, aggression isn't good, having a woman leader, deal with disrespectful broads, having an open relationship, cooking, cleaning, house husband, believing in feminism, having zero fighting spirit, being a coward like the white supremacist guy I was just talking about, and only having one woman. But they want us to live like women. It's crazy, ain't it? Okay, and this is just a theory I have. I think this may be happening to make men weak, such that they allow a matriarchal regime to rule over them. Moreover, though, most women didn't like the idea of feminism and its implications. They enjoyed living a soft life. So if things were all good, why did feminism happen? It happened because the most maladjusted women in the world wanted to have the power of a man. If someone has something good going on for themselves, they typically don't mess it up. The only women who couldn't be happy in a circumstance like this are the lowest quality of women who don't like men all that much anyway. A woman who wants to work full-time, have kids full-time, and have a man is a psychopath. And she's also selfish. And she will also cheat on you and betray you. Because she doesn't view you as her number one. She views you as like the number 5. So if the government comes in asking like, hey, like, where's bro at? She gonna tell them where bro at, you know? That's why I say just smash them. Smash them, dash them, and pass them. Because most women honestly are not worthy of what they think they are worthy of. Okay. All you're doing is spreading yourself thin when you live a life like that, ruining the lives of everyone around you. talking about being like that as a woman. The husband would certainly want you to focus more on him, and it's actually critical for the kids to grow up healthy that you hyper focus on the kids, as I explained earlier. The feminist complaint. Okay, this is one I'll have to get into in another video, but I'll give people a teaser. So the feminist complaint. Men today are weak and fairly underdeveloped. Women complain about this. Some of this comes from feminism. The urge for the average man to go out and become something such that he can attain a woman is disappearing due to the level of difficulty that a man would have to incur to get said woman. The level of difficulty to get a woman is exponential now. In previous eras, to have your pick of the litter, you only had to be the cool guy in high school. Now you have to be cool globally, which is very difficult. Thus, you have to have extraordinary merit to do such a thing. That's true. And I was looking at a study earlier. It was saying that people in 1950, it was saying that 88%, 88%, 88 or 78%, I think it was 88%. 88% of people in the 1950s were married and like in a relationship, and only 22% were single. You know what I mean? And then I looked at the statistics for today, and about 50% are single. Like that, isn't that crazy? Like, isn't that insane? That's insane. And I think it's mostly affected men, of course, because only 40% of men apparently have procreated over time. Probably about to start dipping off a little bit now. Probably like 37%, 38%, something like that. And I think the women who are in relationships, like the 50% that are in relationships, I think they're just getting smashed. Like, these are women who think they're in relationships and they're just getting smashed. I mean, that's smart on the man's part. You know, you want to be a feminist, you want to be unmanageable and unruly, you will just get this pipe and nothing else. So that was that one. I actually have to complete that one. But yeah. What feminism got wrong? Betty Friedan, who was the pioneer of second wave feminism, wrongly concluded that most women who lived as housewives were astoundingly unhappy. This was not true. At her college reunion in 1957, she gave 200 of her fellow classmates a questionnaire. These classmates of hers were very accomplished in academia, and they also came from affluent families. The women were being asked things like, is your marriage fulfilling? How much time a week is spent on doing housework? How do you feel about being a mother? Things like this. Friedan's results were astonishing. She found that an overwhelming majority of her classmates were secretly suffering in silence. The question is, why is a woman who comes from a strong family with the world at her fingertips unhappy? It could be for a couple of reasons. Perhaps these particular women were genetically inferior, which is to say that they may have been prone to depression. Some people are just prone to depression and negative emotion and stuff like that. It's just a genetic thing. These women may have wanted too much out of life. As I talked about earlier, a lot of women are trying to box above their weight class, and, you know, they're just entitled, basically. They're like a 4 or 5, probably a 5. Like 5 is average, right? They're a 4 or 5 trying to get somebody who's like an 8. You get it? And girls can pull it off. Girls really can't pull it off because men are foolish and they'll deal with a broad who's an 8. But I think I like to be a bit optimistic and think that things pretty much work out in the end. Like, if the guy is an 8 but he's dealing with a 5, nigga probably ain't an 8. Like, yeah, he may have he may be wealthy, yeah, he may have attention and fame, but if he's dealing with a broad who's low class and disrespectful and unruly, something's off about that guy. He's not the man we want to be like. He's not the guy we look at and go like, oh, wow, he's the man. Nah, never in life. I think the actual issue with these women was either they were bored just sitting at the house all day, expecting life to be some sort of party, or they were unmanageable women who wanted to rule over their man. The issue with Betty's data is that it was insufficient. The average woman in the 1960s preferred to be a housewife and not to have to go out in this world and toil. Women, I need y'all to work with me, because when this feminism stuff first popped off, y'all didn't want it. Like, and who wants to work a job all day? Like, that's crazy, isn't it? Like, don't nobody want to do that. That's insane. And that concludes the video. So that was and I'm gonna make more videos on this stuff as I become more knowledgeable and learning about this stuff. But this was the first video. I think I did pretty good. I think my points were pretty solid. Talked about human nature a bit, talked about female nature a bit, talked about white supremacy a little bit. And just something on the white supremacy thing, I actually don't even like talking about these folks because these people are so active. These people are so gangster, and like they're attacking like quantity. Like these people are very annoying, you know? Like anytime I say something about a white supremacist or make a video or post something on YouTube about it, they always have to say something. It's like, I'm not really talking about decent white people, like, cause some of these fools, their brain is small, so they think that I'm a racist person, which I'm not. Come on now. But yeah, like, I'm not going to stand for you guys just killing people and killing black folks and getting away with it. Like, I'm not like Martin Luther King. Like, I want bodies. Yeah. That's actually who I am as a person in my heart. I want bodies. But I'll direct it towards you white supremacists who think that being a colonial-minded psychopath is a good thing. I'm actually kind of similar to the whites. I just have more morality and integrity than them. And when I talk about the whites, I'm talking about the white ruling class. I'm talking about the white supremacists. Leave me alone, you little devils. Stop sending me death threats. Stop telling me that you're gonna blow my brains out. Stop commenting under my TikTok posts. Leave me alone. If you ain't gonna do nothing, leave me alone. I live in Houston, Texas. I be on Main Street, downtown, quite often. If you boys wanna do something, y'all can catch me down there. Until then, leave me alone, bruh. Stop sending me death threats.